So, you've poured your heart, your soul, probably a lot of late nights into creating an amazing mobile game. But let's be real. In a market with millions of other games, how do you make sure people actually play it? Well, we're about to break down the definitive playbook for getting your game noticed and launched successfully.
And that right there, that's the core question, isn't it? It's not just about building a great game anymore. It's about making sure it doesn't just get lost in the noise. Honestly, standing out is the name of the game before your game even begins.
And just to put a number on that noise, we're talking about over 1.4 million apps on both Google Play and iTunes, all screaming for attention. I mean, that's a staggering number. And it's exactly why a smart marketing strategy isn't just some nice-to-have extra. It is an absolute necessity.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the critical groundwork in the pre-launch playbook. Then, we'll dive into how you actually acquire your players, how to solve the profitability puzzle, optimize everything with A/B testing, and finally, we'll talk about why the work is really never truly done.
All right, first up, the pre-launch phase. This is all about building momentum before you ever hit that publish button. You know, getting this right can make or break your launch day.
So, what's the first move? A pre-registration campaign. You want to start this about 1 to 2 months before you go live. Why? Well, the data shows it leads directly to more installs and, crucially, better player retention. You can offer some exclusive content as an incentive, and hey, platforms like Google Play give you a full 90-day window to build that initial community. Use it.
Once people are hyped up, they're going to head to your App Store page, and you have to think of this page as your digital storefront. To get it looking perfect, you need something called App Store Optimization, or ASO. It's just the process of tweaking your page's visibility to get more organic downloads. Now your icon, that's the very first thing they'll see. It has to grab their attention in a split second. The best ones, they're simple, they're clean, and they're visually distinct. It really needs to pop off the screen, whether it's in a crowded search result or on a featured page.
And your screenshots, oh, they are so much more than just pictures. They are your sales pitch. You should treat them like a little stop-motion commercial. Each image should build on the last one, telling a story and using sharp, concise copy to highlight the best features. Remember, you're selling an experience, not just a static game.
Okay, you've built the buzz. You've polished your storefront. Now, it's time to get out there and actively find your players. This quote, it really just cuts right to the heart of it. Look, organic discovery from all that ASO work is crucial. But the reality of the mobile space today is that paid user acquisition, that's the engine that drives growth. You're going to need a marketing budget to really get your game off the ground.
So, where do you spend that budget? The key here is to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Instead, create a healthy mix. Use platforms like Unity Ads to find those high-value players, leverage Meta and TikTok for their insane audience targeting, and definitely use Apple Search Ads to capture players who are already searching for a game just like yours.
Now, when it comes to the ads themselves, two formats totally dominate. Video ads are essential for showing off your gameplay, but you have to hook the viewer in the first 5 seconds or they're gone. But playable ads? They are a game changer. They give users a little taste of the action, letting them literally poke at the buttons and feel the game before they even install. That interactive sample? Incredibly powerful for driving downloads.
And beyond just traditional ads, influencer marketing is an incredibly effective way to build buzz. Partnering with creators who already have a trusting relationship with their audience, well, that gives your game a stamp of authenticity and can drive a huge wave of engaged players right to your doorstep.
So you're getting players. That's fantastic, but is it sustainable? This next section is all about the business side of things, making sure your marketing efforts are actually, making you money.
First up, we have to understand cost per install, or CPI. This is a super simple but vital metric. It tells you exactly how much you're paying for every single player who installs your game. Think of it as your entry fee for each new user.
And then there's the other side of that coin, lifetime value, or LTV. This metric calculates the total revenue you can expect to earn from a single player over their entire time with your game. This is the jackpot you're hoping that player delivers over time.
So, the whole thing boils down to this. This simple inequality right here. It is the single most important rule in mobile game marketing. The amount you spend to get a player must be less than the amount that player generates in revenue. If your CPI is higher than your LTV, you are literally losing money on every single download. It's that simple, and it's that critical.
So how do you make sure you're staying on the right side of that equation? Well, you don't guess, you test. And that brings us to the power of A/B testing, the key to making smart, data-driven decisions.
I absolutely love this quote because it's so true. A/B testing, or split testing, is your secret weapon. It lets you compare two different versions of a marketing asset, maybe an icon, a screenshot, an ad, to see which one actually performs better. It just takes all the guesswork out of optimization.
And the process is just a simple loop. You define a goal, you test one single variable, like a new icon. With a piece of your audience, you analyze the data, and then you iterate based on what you learned. It's this continuous cycle of improvement that takes the guesswork out of your marketing.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section. Because just like A/B testing, marketing isn't a one-and-done thing. Your launch is really just the beginning of a much, much longer journey.
Honestly, the biggest mistake a developer can make is to take their foot off the marketing pedal right after launch day. To keep your game alive, to keep it growing, you have to maintain that momentum with continuous marketing and, maybe most importantly, continuous community engagement.
So what does that look like? Well, it's about humanizing your brand with behind-the-scenes content. It's about celebrating your players by featuring their stories. It means being an active, listening presence where your community gathers, on platforms like Reddit and Discord, and just keeping that conversation going long, long after launch day.
And that brings us to the final and most critical question. You can have the best launch plan, the smartest ad campaigns, the most beautiful, optimized storefront in the world, but if you're not actively listening to, engaging with, and building for your players, your game's journey is going to be a short one. The community, that is the true lifetime value.